several different demon Democrats reject demon Democrats. Of course they're going to reject it. You know what I'm saying? They react to the march by blaming Republicans. Of course they're going to blame the Republicans. You know what I'm saying? By blaming the Republican lawmakers, including Jones and Parson. Jones argued that this is exactly what my Republican colleagues' hate speech is fostering, while Parson claimed that the demonstration views are shared by shared by many who have served alongside on the other side of the aisle. We see Nazism and anti-Semitism, should never be tolerated in any form as Jewish people, shared as Jewish people around the world continue to face persecution. Tennessee remains unwavering in our support for the nation of Israel and her people. But you cannot support something. I have no problem supporting the people, but you cannot support something that is not true. You cannot support something that is an invasion, a schemed up trick, and all types of different shit. And now people are losing their lives to the hand of this nonsense. This has been going on not just in the Gaza Strip with Hamas and the other people. This has been going on a long time in Africa and even in the West Indies and all over the world as a whole, including Indonesia and many of the Asian countries. You know what I'm saying? This nonsense has been going on. So we know who all is affiliated and in bed with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's what that tells us. You know what I'm saying? But these groups, once, relegated to a dark corner, relocated or whatever to a dark corner, now feels, empowered to spew their Knox or whatever ideology out in the open due to our state's leadership refusing to condemn their speech and their actions. Well, I got news for you with that. That was going to happen in any way. So while we're looking at these different things and claiming and saying this and saying that, we know for well that this is done by the demon Democrats because they're the one who created the Ku Klux Klan. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? They was the one who created that. So we know for well that if black people are involved with this mess in itself, then we know for well that there have always been some form of affiliation. Second of all, they have to keep the narrative going, such as what we've seen at the White House. You know what I'm saying? Well, it should be the Black House because they need more black people up in there with some goddamn system that's sucking blood and signing contracts. But, you know what I'm saying, doing them nigga shit. But at the same time, what we seen on the Biomedical January 6th, you know what I'm saying, 6 feet apart, 6 feet deep bullshit, you know what I'm saying, that was done to me by the FBI and the CIA. Or whoever other secret group that was involved. That was not done by the original supporters of Trump. Even if they were there. You know what I'm saying? But we see Colorado brings Trump back to the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? The Supreme Court is about to decide whether or not he can stay on the 2024 ballot. Colorado needs a week before come. You garbage as well. I ain't got time for Colorado in his bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You should not be denying nobody off the ballot. To me, you're no more than a jackass, and you're looking stupid right about now. There's no other way to put it, and I'm not going to cut through, and I'm going to cut through the chase. There's no way that you should be doing such a thing in any shape or form. Much of these laws in which you have put forward based on the fact of, you know what I'm saying, what you were doing to Donald J. Trump for 4 years standing president that everybody seems to hate so much, and I wonder why. You know what I'm saying? and all this and different stuff with the government and these different Nancy Pelosi and all these different government officials coming down every time we turn around and hearing Trump, you know what I'm saying? What about the country, and the world? You know, so you're spending too much time on nonsense. You know what I'm saying? What is that all about? So that means that if we look at what you're blocking to say that Trump can't run again, that means that Trump knows the garbage that you have done. He knows the bullshit that you have been doing. And many other people as well across the planet. It ain't just Trump. That's why you try with the SEAM program that you had not too long ago, talking about mandates and executive laws. And then you have Kathy Oxford have the nerve to sit up there having any kind of thing, talking about, if you don't do it, I'm going to be forced to put more mandates on you. and all that bullshit. And Como talking about he going to do this and he going to do that. And he going to force the people into a corner and he going to put them in jail and run them into the sea like you're trying to do in the Gaza and Strip. You know what I'm saying? And much other bullshit, and put the people under duress and made them go do something that they should not have followed or done. You garbage then, as government officials and all who was involved in this, and you garbage now, and you're going to be garbage. Goddamn, I believe in the future if people don't get themselves together, because this is not going to be solved just by one man or one person. This is going to take an effort of the people who have some goddamn sense for once in their fucking life and is not affiliated with no deep state bullshit and all kinds of other garbage contract signing and all kinds of bullshit, drinking blood and doing satanic rituals and all kind of stupid ass bullshit, and have some goddamn sense, you know, to stand up against the tyranny and the LGBTQ nonsense as well, which is a part of the mixing brew of the pot, you know what I'm saying, of the witch's pot, and stand up against all the bullshit. I can't believe that it was even allowed during the election to have any value at all in our election at all. To where you in Smithtown, you built an LGBTQ center. Now, you could have done that without going across in our government bringing this bullshit on the fucking table. You sound like the cockamamie bullshit Neanderthal cavemen that you always were. Up in the caves doing each other in the bum. You know what I'm saying? And then want to try to put that shit on African people and call them this and call them that because they affiliate themselves with the nonsense. In many ways. And probably going back to time. This is why they were always seeking for a free state. But at the same time, when you look at the shit that's going on, even here, when you look at the different rape and different shit that these LGBT and many people are doing, you go back to Greece. When you look at Greece years ago and back in the day, one of the rules that they had is that they could have sex with anybody. So here's you, your son, your daughter, well, your two sons, your two daughters, the mother and the father, having dinner, and these men show up with a little cloth around their waist looking like muscle-bound motherfuckers and want to fuck the husband, the mother, the two sons, and the two daughters. This was going on in Greece. And this was a law or some type of treaty or whatever the fuck that they could just, this was their way. Same as we see the African dudes going across saying that they could just see a girl walking down the street, you know, go over to a pull her aside and she have to have sex with them, and they pull her aside and now they're banging the fuck of your daughter. You're going to tell me there's no affiliation to what we see, and actually what we see here with LGBTQ, talking about sex change and all kinds of shit to deceive men, and something ain't wrong with what we're seeing. And then you look at the different movie stars and different people, you got to do these rituals and these bullshit, and then there's no affiliation to this. And then when you look around, you see this and you see that and you see this and all kind of nonsense. Okay. So we know where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? But in a full-scale nuclear war, since everybody seems to want to be LGBTQ nonsense and be shot up, you know what I'm saying? I wonder if you're going to be ready for this, because by then you're probably going to be sick when 2024 comes and they put on the 5G spray that chemical they have down in the tunnels. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at what people seem to not look at. You know, while you're supporting this bullshitical nonsense, that creepy Joe Biden and the secret society and deep state have done in Ukraine and been brewing up for years, and it comes to this point. So let's look at what people are supporting for a moment. If a full-scale nuclear war, let's just be honest, breaks out, how much time do you have is the question. You jack fucking being. Talking about some LGBTQ and all this gay shit and all kind of bullshit going on across in Hollywood and everything, where with rappers and shit joining your fuck-up organizations and bullshit rather than start their own. I wonder how much time and where you guys got a nice safe place to run to while the common people you feed off are like a leech. So how much time do we have? But we see hypothetically the doomsday scenario. Oh, they love the doomsday scenario. That's one of their favorite scenarios. Of chaotic, scatterbrains, pinball brain. Ping, pong, pong, ping, pong, pong, ping. That's the way their brains work. And they'll do just about any fucking thing to another person. This is how you end up with a lot of crack babies. I remember back in the 70s, you were even showing the babies jiggling on a table like you did in Germany when he started talking about, trying to create a pure white race. Stop fucking with nature, bro. But we see here where, the scenario of the doomsday, the world witnesses the unlikable, a full-scale first strike nuclear attack by Russia on the United States. Chumped up by the United States, you mean? It ain't no attack on Russia on the United States. It's the attack of the United States. Not all the people, just the elected officials that you elected. And keep electing and been supporting under the Baphomet, Madame de Blasky and Alice Foley and fucking Albert Pike and all of them mother put together over the years, all the way to creepy ass, nutcase ass Joe Biden, Ronald Reagan, and all of them motherfuckers. Let's just be honest here. Talking about the unlikable full-scale strike. Full-scale, the strike wasn't going to be done by Russia. If it's a strike, it's a defense strike. What the first strike was the United States talking Zelensky dumb fucking ass up. They talking shit. I caught his ass there talking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Is doing to the world. So we see here where they're saying the first strike by Russia on the United States. I wonder where the people gonna be. Because I still ain't seeing none of the people. Following a disastering counter-strike from the United States and NATO criminal crooked ass. And stop saying the United States, because when you say that fucking shit, it sounds like you're talking about every single fucking person in this country you call the USA or US. Fuck a A. Stop doing that bullshit. We don't agree with this shit at all. And anybody in the rightful mind that agree with something like that is out their fucking mind. And we know that as a fact. Following the disaster counter-strike by the criminal organization called NATO using our name and involving us in bullshit, what are the effects? How much time would you have to react? React how? Well, how are you going to react to that? Is you out your mind? Like you did to people in Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Anyway, but what happens after the strike? What is the aftermath? Is what we must ask. Immediate effects, of a nuclear explosion could be catastrophic. A 10 kiloton nuclear device likely detonated near a large U.S. city would cause severe shockwave. That's number one. A thermal damage extending to about half a mile of each ground burst. Structures within the radius would be leveled. So I'm still asking, how much time do you have? Within the radius would be leveled. Streets would be melted. So imagine what would happen to you. Windows shattered. People would be, windows shattered. You know what I'm saying? People would be incinerated. So that means when this thing blasts, it's packed so much heat, chemicals, and all kinds of shit in it. You know what I'm saying? That is going to incinerate. It would incinerate or have their bones broken from the force of the shock wave. Just the shock wave alone. Lethal radiation. Those would affect unprotected people within about 3/4 of a mile from the explosion site. The explosion would send soot and debris high into the atmosphere, potentially covering the entire Earth in a radiative nuclear ash cloud. And this is what you support, huh? With Zelensky and the Ukraine deal. This is what you support with the Ukraine deal? Oh, yeah. You are such a beautiful set of people voting for Creepy Biden and giving him such great support and saying that he's even keeping ahead of Trump and he's winning and he's this and he's that. And you're not looking at the research of what he did when it comes to the shit he's been doing all his life in government and that to lead up to what we see today. What you think he ain't had nothing to do with it? Yes, tell it to the people in the Gaza Strip. You know what I'm saying? But we see the electromagnetic pulse, the EMP, generated by high altitude bursts would disrupt electronic systems across vast areas, crippling communication and data processing infrastructure essential for a sociological function. Casualties would be, staggering. Historical Cold War estimates suggest that 50 million Americans would die, with 9 million sick or injured out of a pre-attack population of 179 million. But a new simulation developed by the Princeton Science and Global Security Program, listen to that pretty name, isn't it? Yeah. Estimate that 34.1 million people could die, and another 50.4 million more injured within the first hours of the conflict between it is not a conflict between the U.S. Stop saying U.S. Is the U.S. you're talking about them or the general population of people who don't agree with this bullshit? And you shouldn't, because they chopped that up using NATO to do it. Nation alliance to overthrow the world, to deceive and overthrow all nations. So why are you saying Russia? Why are you picking on Russia in the first place at all? So that's a question we must answer. But terrifyingly short unfolding, the timeline of such a apocalyptic event would be terrifyingly short. Land-based, intercontinental ballistic missiles, the ICBMs, can travel at speeds of up to 15,000 miles per hour, meaning that the missile launch from Russia could reach the United States in approximately 30 minutes. Missiles launched from submarines could strike as little as 10 to 15 minutes. The population of the United States is finished because you're smaller than Africa, really. Where Russia sits in Egypt, really, that's Egypt territory and Egypt land. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge territory in the country. You could fit 100 probably Americas into that fucking area of what you call today, Africa and Europe and all of that. So if they shoot those missiles, and we're not just talking about one or two, we're talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the same shit, so nobody's going to survive in the United States. We will be finished. This is what your creepy ass, nutcase ass, Baphometical, worshipping satanic, dumb fucking affiliation, deep state, in the fucking fraternal order of the garbage that they do, has jumped upon the United States as revenge for what happened to their ass many years ago. You got your ass kicked, and now you're trying to do it. And I can't believe that our government or any government official is involved in some bullshit that can cause this shit on the American people. The first target would be counterforce that is military installation, infrastructure. Of course they're going to shoot at that, and other targets of strategic value after, such as what we see Netanyahu doing in the Gaza Strip to the Gaza people. That the counter value target would be struck, which struck cities. The response time for a full-scale counter strike would likely be, similarly rapid. So now we're poisoning, because they're going to shoot about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the mushroom clouds, we definitely finish. They're going to scorch the sky and poison the sky, the water, the animal. So even if you do survive, you're going to die anyway. You're not going to make it. And this is what you have allowed Creep Joe Biden to create a 31 nation called NATO that killing with blood-sucking ass, nasty ass Clinton, like I said before, rather than let Trump clean their fucking asses up out of our motherfucking country and government. You dumb motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Sit up there, you know what I'm saying? And know the fact that they would rather blow this fucking planet up rather than to be discovered for the garbage that they did for 40, 50, 60, 47 years and better to the world, the country, the people, and the people of planet Earth in itself. Get out of my face, you garbage. And talking bullshit to me. The response. So now they do it to us, we do it to them. Now the whole earth is swapped up. You know what I'm saying? Because people need to see what it really does. You know what I'm saying? Russia attack. You know what I'm saying? The U.S. will respond to Russia's attack by launching nuclear weapons within 10 minutes of detecting it. So now we're shooting missiles at each other, nuclear weapons that would incinerate your ass. Just trying to run. You know what I'm saying? Keep on. Princeton simulation. Missiles within 10 minutes. Princeton simulation, which was developed using a realistic nuclear force posture, targets, and fatalities, estimated, found that entire sequence of events from the initial attack to the counterattack could completely unfold in a matter of minutes to a few hours. So you don't have much time to run. So in other words, he's telling you, you ain't gonna be able to outrun it. You're not. Where you gonna run to? You act as if like the United States is so big. Like I said, you could fit about 10, maybe 10 in South America, 10 in the United States in South America, and 10 or more in Africa. Because they're lying to you. They want you to believe that the United States is so huge. when it's very small compared to Africa, the continent, and even South America. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be finished. There's going to be no place to run or hide. And if they have it, they probably won't let you get there. This is why they're drilling holes into the ground and lining it up with all these chemical shit to release this chemical gas as well. They would rather blow this bitch up, kill every motherfucker on this here planet. This is how sick these bitches is, in order to cover the nastiness that they have done. Blessed be the cosmic mother that we see the nastiness. We don't have to be there to see it actually. We know who creates a disease, who dabbles in disease, who does gain of function with disease. Talking about gain of function, it passed from an animal to a human. Who does that? Who creates a sexual transmitted disease? Knowing everybody has to have babies and have sex in itself. The detonation over, you know what I'm saying, the detonation over Nagasaki, black people in China area, they didn't drop it in Hong Kong, during the World War II led to Japan surrendering 6 days later. But in the modern scenario of the full-scale conflict, the surrender of any nation would be, you know what I'm saying, of any nation would be a mute point amidst global devastation. Global devastation. Because people don't seem to want to understand this at all. You know, it would be complete devastation. And if you want to know what it would look like based on the situation, here's a good picture of what would be left of you. Take a good look. Take a good look. You can bring it closer and say, yeah, maybe that's better. That's what you're going to look like. This is what New York going to look like, Washington, D.C. going to look like, and all the cities in the United States and everywhere else. So where you going to run to, where you going to hide? Where you going to eat? Where you going to get food? The food's going to be poisoned with radiation. The sky going to be poisoned with radiation, rain. You can't drink the water. You can't eat. You're going to starve literally to death. So don't give me that bullshit. While people sitting up there laughing and grinning with LGBTQ and all kind of nonsense. So, Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The aftermath of a full-scale nuclear exchange would be a world unrecognized. Fallout radiation from the nuclear blast would decay relatively quickly, with most areas becoming fairly safe or travel in decontamination after 3 or 5 weeks. That's a lie. He's lying to you. He's lying to you. That kind of scale war when using nuclear weapons, you know what I'm saying, at each other is not going to clear within 3 to 5 weeks. It's going to last your lifetime before it clears. You just take a look at what happened in Chernobyl, I guess over there in Russia, when the nuclear reactors either exploded or leaked. Up to this day, you still have, if you want to go on the land, you have to wear a monitor on the side to monitor when the radiation is getting high. So imagine when they do this. Where you going to run? Where you going to hide? However, the long-term humanitarian, economic, geopolitical, and environmental consequence would be dire. Oh yeah, it's going to be dire, right? Because you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, and we're going to finish up where we left off in Mercy, because we must look at this thing from that